Yeah, and I want to tie it all in for the listener. So after all of this, Bush then says that he will make no distinction between the terrorists and the countries that harbor them. And
Mhm.
then in a later speech in Fool's Errand, especially, you mentioned that he basically says that these terrorists exist in like 60 different countries. Would you say that that in itself was like a declaration on like all of the countries that you list and enough already? Like, is that what set off the potential for the United States to go to war in all of these countries?
That's a good question. I mean, I think certainly it had to do with his public case for the American people. That look, there's 60 countries out there where these terrorists, they're everywhere. We're just getting started and it'll never end. Here's a guy who couldn't give a damn about Al Qaeda for his first 8 months on the job.
Yeah.
Now they're under every rock. Anywhere there's a Sunni with a rifle, we're going to pretend that they all are answerable to Osama bin Laden. And then some. And you know what? That might be in 20 countries. We're just going to go ahead and triple that and call it 60 because we like jerking your chain, is basically all
Mhm.
they were doing. They never meant that. And that just wasn't true that there are Al Qaeda guys in 60 countries. I mean, it's just made up nonsense. Um, the reality was that there were about 400 men in Afghanistan who were real Al Qaeda guys, and another few hundred around the Middle East who were, could said to be on their email list and, part of their discussion groups, and former fighters, former, freedom fighters from the Reagan era and whatever spread throughout the Middle East. The idea
Mhm.
that this was some Leviathan that there, because of the size of the attack and its equivalence to Pearl Harbor, that meant there was some Islamic empire comparable to the Japanese empire out there. This just wasn't true. And Bush was happy to let people be that afraid. He was very happy to let people think, if they lived in Dallas, Texas, that, oh yeah, no, I mean, they're coming for you soon. And if it wasn't for me, you'd be dead already. And all of this kind of stuff. When no, man, this was a last gasp, Hail Mary pass, desperate attempt of a few marginalized, exiled, veterans of an old war to try to reintroduce themselves into the narrative of power and politics in the Middle East. And the fact that they had to steal our 757s to even have a weapon to use against us should have been a clue, right? These guys don't control a single county anywhere in the world, right? It's 400 men. Bin Laden at that time was not trying to create a movement. He was trying to create a special operations team of guys who could accomplish, a few guys who could accomplish big missions. And that was essentially what they did. It was George W. Bush who turned it into a movement, not Bin Laden.
Yeah.
And not even by invading Afghanistan, as Bin Laden hoped, but by invading Iraq.